Yeah, you bring up a good point there. We need to reevaluate the way we look at pain management. For decades, NSAIDs and opioids have been considered standard first line therapies. But when we take a closer look at their safety profiles and their long term effectiveness, it becomes clear that medical cannabis deserves to be considered not as a last resort, but as a first line option. So let's just look at NSAIDs here. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen and naproxen, well, they're easily accessible and commonly used. They carry significant risk that with prolonged use. We have gastrointestinal bleeding, kidney impairment, hypertension, and even increased cardiovascular events. The case of Vioxx, it was a prescription NSAID removed from the market after being linked with tens of thousands of heart attacks and strokes. It's really a sobering example. Even today, NSAID-related complications send over 100,000 people to the hospital each year. Opioids, on the other hand, they can be appropriate for acute or end-of-life pain, but they're not well suited for long-term chronic pain. The development of tolerance, risk of dependency, of course, respiratory depression, and overdose, they're very well documented. In 2023 alone, the US saw over 80,000 opioid-related deaths. Now, much of that is now linked to illegal fentanyl, but there's still opioid deaths. And perhaps most frustrating, many patients find that opioids offer diminishing relief over time. So in other words, we're exposing patients to life-threatening risk for limited benefits. Now, medical cannabis offers a fundamentally different approach. Cannabinoids interact with the body's endocannabinoid system to modulate pain, reduce inflammation, improve sleep, and it can even stabilize mood for pain sufferers. Numerous studies have shown its effectiveness in managing chronic pain, particularly neuropathic and inflammatory related pain. Importantly, cannabis has a very favorable safety profile. We don't see any lethal overdose, no direct organ toxicity, and there's really a far lower risk of dependence when it's appropriately used and properly dosed. So we need to weigh the risk and benefits objectively. The evidence strongly supports making medical cannabis a first-line therapy for many forms of chronic pain. It's really time to move past the outdated protocols. Patients deserve really safer, more effective options, and I really believe that medical cannabis can be one of them.